Hi, Faith Thomas here. Today we're going to talk about success. Someone asked me recently if I was a successful online marketer. I began to wonder, how would that be defined? How do I know if I'm successful or not? In trying to define success, I came across this picture. It's an illustration of an iceberg where success is on top, and it's what you see, what people see. But really, success involves all these other factors: dedication, hard work, discipline, disappointment, sacrifice, failure, and persistence. And those are the parts of success that people don't see. But that didn't really help me define if I'm successful or not. What does it really mean? So I decided I'd look up the dictionary definition. Success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. So if I'm now looking at, am I a successful online marketer, I kind of have to know what my aim or purpose is. So what is my goal online? Is it to make a certain amount of money each day? How do I rate this? If it is measured by how much money I make each day, well, how much is enough? What if my goal is $50 a day and your goal is $100 a day? Am I successful at $50 a day, but you're not successful at $50 a day? How do you decide if you're being successful or not? Is success relative to each person? What's success for me may not be success for you. And I think that's kind of where we start to get somewhere. Being successful depends on your perspective. At one point, I was averaging $1,500 a month online for many years. I kind of plateaued at that point. I didn't feel like I was successful because of that plateauing, and it really wasn't the level I desired to be at. But many people would look at that and say that I was a successful online marketer. Okay, so how does this help you? In order to be successful, you have to define your aim or your purpose. So let's look at that first. You need to write down your goals. Where do you want to be, say, 2 years from now? Let's say you want to be making $5,000 a month. So a year from now, you'd need to be making $2,500 a month. 6 months from now, you'd need to be making $1,250 a month. 3 months from now, you need to be making $625 a month. So what does it take using your business model to make $625 a month? So how many items do you need to sell per month? Or how many clients do you need? Or whatever your model is, you can do the math. And then do whatever it takes to make that happen. And scale up from there. Let's look at setting goals, because that's really hard for some people to do. Tony Robbins said, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. All of us want to be successful online. We all want to make X number of dollars a month. So how do we do that? How do we turn that invisible money coming in into something visible? First step is to set goals. Now we need to do that in a smart way. We need to be specific in our goal setting. It needs to be something that's measurable, something that's attainable or achievable. We need to be realistic. It needs to be recorded, and it needs to be timely or time-based. It's one thing to say, oh, I'd like to make $5,000 a month someday. Well, that's not good enough. We need to put a time measure on it. Let's delve into this a little bit more, because I think this can be really useful for you. The goals need to be specific. In the example that I gave, I was very specific. I said, 2 years from now, I'd like to be making $5,000 a month. That's a very specific goal. And it needs to be measurable. So how do I measure if I'm making $5,000 a month or not? Not just the end goal, but also the milestones along the way. So if I want to be making $5,000 a month 2 years from now, what do I need to do to reach that goal between now and then, and how can I measure that? So a year from now, if I need to be making $2,500 a month a year from now, then I know a year from now whether I'm on track to make that $5,000 or not. So you can break down your little milestones to 3 months, 6 months, a year, 18 months even, and 2 years out, so that you know that you're on the right path and making those steps toward that goal. It needs to be measurable. The A here, it needs to be attainable or achievable. It's unrealistic for me, well, for some people, for most of us, I would say, to start from zero this month and say, a month from now, I'm going to be making $5,000 a month. Okay, most people can't do that. That's just ridiculous. As much as people try and sell you stuff so that you can do that, that's really not realistic. And so you need to come up with steps that are attainable. Is it attainable for me to be making $5,000 a month 2 years from now? Yes, it is. If I have a good business model and I have a plan and I work that plan, then I absolutely can achieve that. So, but you've got to set that up and be realistic with your goals. Can I, with the plan I outlined a second ago, can I make 3 months from now $625 a month on online income? Can I do that? I think that's very achievable. So that would be my first stepping stone to put me on this path. So, you need to be realistic. Can I make $5,000 a month 3 months from now? Probably not. But $625, I can do that. So work whatever's with your skill set and your abilities and what you've got that you're working with. Find what is attainable for you and be realistic with your goals. The R in SMART goal setting is recorded. So is it recordable? Is it, as you have these stepping stones, are you able, say, a year from now to turn around and look back and say, okay, I hit this mile marker, I hit this mile marker, I hit this mile marker. You see that record there of those milestones that you've hit so that you know that you are on that path that you want to. And then lastly, for your SMART goal setting, is timely or time-based. In this example, I've got a 2-year, 24-month timetable that I'm working with. I've set up my mile markers along the way, not just as dollar figures, but also dates, so that, it's not just, well, one day I'll reach $2,500 a month, and then I'll know I'm halfway there. No, I want to reach $2,500 a month 12 months from now. So it is a time-based goal. So as you set these things, you'll be able to measure yourself and see that you are actually attaining those goals. It's really helpful to write down your goals. There are lots of worksheets, goal-setting worksheets available online. Some are free, some are paid. There are workbooks, there's worksheets, there's ebooks. You don't really need all of that. A piece of paper will do. Write down where you want to be 2 years from now. Break down the steps to get there. It's not hard. But I like having something digital. There's a great app on the iPad that will help you set those goals and then break things down. Let me show you this. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. Okay, let me read that to you again. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. I have a dream to make $5,000 a month online. If I say I want to do that by the 1st of January 2018, now that becomes a goal. Now, goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. So if I take that $5,000 a month 2 years from now, and I break this down into steps. Where do I want to be a year from now? Where do I want to be 6 months from now? Where do I want to be 3 months from now? I've got a plan. I have a blueprint for this to become a reality. Now, if I take that, and all I've done is written this down and say, okay, so 3 months from now, I want to be making $625 a month, and I don't do anything, well, then all I've got is a plan. Nothing happens. But a plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. If you take your goal, your final goal out there, that $5,000 a month, break it all down so that you've got a plan, and then break your plan down into steps of action. Daily steps of action, weekly steps of action. So I know if I'm going to be at $625 a month 3 months from now, what do I have to do to make that happen? In my case, I need so many clients, X number of clients to make that happen. So if I know I need that many clients, how many clients then do I need to get each month in the next 3 months? How many do I need to get each week? how many do I need to get each day? What do I need to do to make 625 happen? And then you break it down from there. Okay, if I need to get one new client every 3 days, what do I need to do to make that happen? How do I get a new client? What are the obstacles that are impeding me from getting that new client? And how do I remove those obstacles so that I can get that new client? And then how do I do it again and again? And then as I'm able to do that by 3 months from now and I reach that milestone, how do I scale up? So those are your action steps that need to happen in order for that dream to come true. One last thing here to share with you. If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. You've got to have goals. If you want to be successful, you have to know where you're going. Let me kind of flip this thing around here a little bit. It's hard to hit a target if you don't know what that target is. All right, my target is $5,000 per month in recurring income, autopilot income. So how do I make that goal happen? See, I have a goal. Now I know what I'm shooting at. And I have a time, so I know when that needs to happen. You've got to have that target. The goals need to be realistic, and you need to be willing to adjust the goals as needed. So work towards your goal and be successful. I would define success as hitting your goals. So until next time, hope you enjoyed this. Leave some comments below. Thanks.